Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Welch with me, your host, John Lucas. That's right, make some noise. Clap it up, get excited. Hold on, buddy. There we go. Get excited wherever you are. We're back. We're here, we're live, and we got so much to discuss with you on today because we got a whirlwind of conversation and topics to start your Thursday afternoon with. We got the NBA returning. We got Victor Wembanyama dominating, looking like a menace, the likes of which we may have never seen before in the NBA. We got tank conversations. We got Canelo Alvarez talk. We got so much in store for you all to tune in and to listen to and enjoy. We appreciate you tuning in and coming in on the show with us today. If you haven't already, come on and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Come join this empire and be about business when it comes to being a part of the hottest show in all the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Be sure to hit the notification bell. Leave a like on the video if you're here. Go on and get the algorithm up to see exactly what we got going on so everybody can understand this is the hottest spot to be in all of social medias. Also be sure, if you haven't already, to go and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together of a community, all thanks to you and your support. We're almost at 2,030 subscribers. Yes, indeed, we done eclipsed the current year mark, and we're going to get bigger and better and grander and stronger, all with you helping to make this community bigger and absolutely phenomenal with your voice, with your input, and with, again, you telling people this is the place to be. Also, if you would like to give us support to the channel, hey, we got means of Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description. If you'd like to come and support, would mean the world to me. Helps to keep the lights on, pay the bills, and to help invest back into the show to make it better for your viewing and listening pleasure, because that's what you all deserve. And so we're so glad you're here. Rated 5 stars on every podcasting platform imaginable. And hey, we got a bunch of stuff to do. It's been a phenomenal week going into. We had a bunch of excitement starting out on Tuesday. Now we're here on Thursday. NBA has officially gone underway. Basketball is back. The world feels lighter. Dribbling is happening all around the world. We feel, oh, I love it. This is the one of the best parts of the year. You got the NFL now going in full swing. You got boxing about to hit one of the biggest strips of excitement that we got all throughout this year, from November on down to December, dare I say even January. It's about to be a banger of an event, or a slew of banging events that's going to be happening real quick and in a hurry. And now we got the NBA back and looking to be with NBC, with ABC as well. Hey, all of a sudden, especially with NBC, it's we getting a little bit of feeling, a little bit of nostalgia. Forget nostalgia, the popping circumstance of basketball is back, and it did not disappoint with Kevin Durant and OKC Kevin Durant and the Houston going up against OKC with Victor dropping 40, oh, wrong button, no, 40-15 with 0 turnovers against one of the best defensive players we've ever seen in Anthony Davis, and with that backcourt of him and Derek Lively, or is it Funko, whatever the case may be. Brother, oh gosh, oh shoot. We're looking at it, it's looking mighty scary. We got all that, and again, so much more that we need to cover with a bunch of other slews of NBA games. And it's a whirlwind. It's a lot, and we appreciate it being on here with you to talk about it. So again, without further ado, hey, we got boxing to cover. We got sports to delve into. So with we got to talk about boxing first and foremost, because this is what we do on this show. But because of that, we are going to not waste any time. And hey, it is time to step into the ring. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Let's ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round 1 of this show going underway as I make sure that I'm centered on this thing up. Well, before I even continue, let me also make sure that I'm in focus like I'm supposed to. Wait a minute now. Hold on. About to do some live editing. So sorry. I know my face is I'm a beautiful face, but I don't want it to be that it's jarring to you all. Let's see real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, we're looking good now. So, hey, let's jump right into it. Hey, let's get to sports words, shall we? Come on. First topic of discussion that we need to talk about as we did tease earlier, because again, we're going to talk about the NBA. We will. Don't forget, we also got the championship rounds. But beyond that, we also had to discuss the let me, I almost forgot. I did zoom out, didn't I? Okay, yeah, I did. Just had to make sure. But we also got to discuss the content of some return, or the content of some returns in the boxing world, before we get into all that business with the NBA. First of which is talking about Canelo Alvarez. Oh my, yes indeed. Yeah, we gotta discuss it. And the comeback trail of one of the greatest of all time, off the backs of his loss to Terrence Crawford. Now, again, we left it alone for a couple weeks. We let it breathe for a couple weeks. We didn't want to go through and overly dissect what this potential situation would be for the likes of Canelo when it comes to coming into the boxing world. Yet again, off of this loss, again, there was a bunch of stuff to discuss. You had, again, Devin Haney, you had Benavidez, all that stuff happening over in November. But now is a good chance to talk about it. It's a good opportunity to delve into it. When it comes to the comeback opportunity, or rather the comeback prospects, or the comeback conversation of Canelo Alvarez, hey, we got to talk about it. What do we think he's going to be like when he does come back into the fold of this sports world, specifically in the basketball contest? Now, we also understand his greatness is solidified. Yeah, absolutely. His legacy is going to be untouchable for the majority of people of today's era. He's going to be seen as not just one of the faces of boxing that carried this sport for 6, 7 years, but was also, pound for pound, top 3 to potential number 1 at one point in time, and is one of the 3 greatest Mexican boxers that we've ever witnessed in the sport of boxing, at least to my moniker. I could agree to that. So with all that being the case, his legacy is above reproach. But what is of reproach is the necessary need to look at the landscape of his career going forward. Now that we've had a couple months to digest, hey, this man got beat up. This man got dominated. He got destroyed.
Hey, look at
It was an absolute masterclass. And it has people asking questions, or at least some conversations of the radar with Canelo have now shifted and changed into a level of, hey, is the brother washed? Is he washed? Is he out the pasture? Should he even fight again? Can he even come back and be something better? Is all of this for naught? Is the brother just going to be somebody who you're better off not even trying to come back? Because, what's the point? As long as Crawford's got the belts, you ain't going to be able to do a doggone thing. Also, by the way, we got people in the chat as well, like with Al Booger. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy to you with us on today. We appreciate you coming in and being a part of the conversation. Please, if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream. Please go ahead and share the show. Get everybody involved in what we got today for it's going to be a litany of topics and conversations. So I'm so glad that you're here. But in terms of with Canelo, wanted to at least delve into one in his comeback, whenever he does come back, which will most likely be getting. I can't remember if he was injured or not. Had to take some time off. Whatever the case. Once he does come back, hey, what do we think Canelo's going to look like? That's the basis of the question. That's the basis. What is Canelo going to look like when he comes back into the world of boxing? But most likely within Cinco de Mayo, I can assume, or at least March, or depending on however long it's going to take him to come back, because we've already stated that time is starting to wind up in the career of Canelo. We've already stated and talked about the decline, the understood notion that he is getting worse as time goes on. He was still in his prime, yes, when he fought Canelo, but it was near the end of his prime. And we recognize that. Still doesn't take away from the insane type of win that Crawford got. But nonetheless, this is what we're dealing with. Are we going to see a Canelo that now, this is going to be the first time that we witness his brother completely out of his prime? Don't forget what he said in the post-fight interview. Not just in regards to saying that, there was nothing I could do when I was fighting Terrence Crawford. I couldn't beat him straight up. But also he was saying that but my body couldn't do what I wanted it to do. When I saw what I wanted, when I saw something I wanted to do, or an opening I wanted to take, or whatever the case may be, to make a move in the ring, my body wouldn't let me. To paraphrase, it wouldn't let me. His words, not mine. So now that that's out in the ethos from the man himself, well, not only does it validate our concerns for what he is as a fighter, but now we have to look into the future. Okay, what is he going to be when he comes back, and how is he going to change? How is he going to shift? Can he shift himself into operating in a new scope in boxing this late in his career to continue and potentially recapture the gold that he's had around his waist? Because he still feels like he's got a lot left in the tank. That's perfectly fine. He still feels like he's got well enough good, more than enough to go and make some changes to help out a litany of aspects to help bolster his legacy. That's perfectly okay as well. We have to look at reality there. Can this man retool and regroup to be able to sustain a level of dominance and excellence for longer? Or is it going to be a situation similar to Anthony Joshua, similar to Deontay Wilder, that once one person, especially now, I couldn't say that beforehand, it ain't Floyd, where Floyd beat him when he was young, he's growing, he's going to get better. He hasn't reached the max potential. Bivol beat him, he was indeed out of his element from the standpoint of being at 175 the second time he moved up. And his body just could not handle that weight at that point in his career. And people just outclassed him. But again, 168 and below, once he reached his peak, no, unstoppable. Looked unbeatable. Looked absolutely insane. But now that he's at this stage in his career, this loss makes a new question. Because this loss is different. This loss was done when Canelo was at his best. This loss was done when Canelo had all the experience, all of the ability, all of the legacy, the names, fighting every style imaginable, had been able to dominate bigger men, had made smaller men obsolete. He did it. He was at the zenith, and now he got beat like this. People are going to take this and have hey, I got a blueprint. I got a task that I can follow. I have an example that I can take and use when I face this brother. Reason why there's threats like Hamza Shiraz that are feeling very much volatile. Reason why you got threats like Mbili or even a Martinez that now feel more credible than ever. Yes, I still feel that Canelo beats most of the people in the heavyweight division. But I also can capitulate that everybody else now looking at Canelo feel like, okay, the gap's closed exponentially. I know I'm not Crawford, but I also know that what I see wasn't just because of the greatness of Terrence Crawford, even though, again, it played a huge part in it because Crawford was just that doggone good. Like I said, it doesn't take anything away, but just opened up the eyes of the people. Hey, wait a minute. There might be something there I can take. There might be something there I can use. There might be something there that Crawford did that I can go through and equate to success when I get my shot. Now it's the ball's in Canelo's court. Hey, everybody sees you at your weakest now. We got to see what you're going to be able to do to change. And can you change in the first place? Can you go and evolve? Can you shift yourself into a new aspect of fighter? And that's the question I want to pose to you all. I also want to say, even if I pose it to you, will I agree that it can even happen? But I want to hear your thoughts on the matter. Absolutely. Let me see. Al Booger. Oh, only real question for me is who's next for Canelo? Yes, it's going to be Hamza. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, it is going to be Hamza Shiraz. Most likely, yes, it's going to be that 6'2" slicing and dicing power punch that might be vulnerable when it comes to being able to be defensively sound. Yes. But my gosh, does he make up for it with power and pop in an offense that can take out some of the best. Take out people that went the distance with Canelo. Take out some of the major threats that we may feel should be further up in the sweepstakes of Canelo. If you feel that way. There's a real conversation that we can see Hamzat Shiraz as the biggest legitimate threat at 168 outside of Canelo Alvarez, of course, but also Christian Billy. If you want to put Martinez in that frame as well, especially after that 50-50 fight, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But either way, you could argue Shiraz is looking from a threat level. It's maybe top 2 below Canelo and against Canelo. Well, now it goes to the frame up. It's everything that we saw Benavidez have from a dexterity perspective, a physical aspect. Not calling it the same way as Benavidez technically, because absolutely not. No way. Nowhere close to as great of a fighter. But it's good enough. And we got to start asking these questions and saying, hey, Canelo, hey, brother, you are now on the back burner and you're back to fighting as the challenger. How are you going to respond to make yourself, relevant's the wrong word because he's always going to be relevant, but to make yourself not just viable, not just a top threat, but a new beast at this late stage in your career? Can you do what Arizona Lara did? Can you do what we've seen from other great boxers, like with Tyson Fury? Can you do what needs to be done when it comes to adapting and evolving what you are as a fighter so that you can have the ability to sustain and even elevate your game? Hypothetically, as the physical traits that made you so great start to diminish, and in this case diminish severely, or at least drastically from where they used to be. If you want to say that's 10 or 20%, that's perfectly fine. 10 to 20% athletic decline, guess what? That is a world of difference in the boxing landscape. So it can be a problem. It can be an issue. Let me see. What do you think about Billy or Lester for Canelo? I read Christian's team is trying to curve the rematch. Well, if we're being completely honest, he shouldn't curve that rematch. He's going to try, but he shouldn't. In terms of both of them look like very dangerous and very legitimate threats for the world of Canelo to fight against, especially now. Now again, they're not as technical as Terence Crawford, absolutely. They're not nowhere close to as good, but they have, especially if we're talking about from a slick perspective, especially the likes of Martinez. I'm not gonna lie, if he does what he can do better, second time out against Billy, we might have ourselves a pretty interesting matchup, and if he can get the win. But he should not try to curve this fight with Christian and Billy. One, because it's a massive moneymaker. Two, if you beat Christian and Billy legitimately, well, you ain't got there ain't no other choice unless there is no other choice of fight except for two names, Shiraz or Canelo. And most likely you'll get the winner of that. Most likely. And you would waste your opportunity for what would be in this case scenario, a dominant guaranteed money, I don't want to call it a money grab because that sounds bad, but a dominant chance to make some revenue with a fight that people are already clamoring for they want to see that rematch. If I was Christian and Billy, I'm not saying you want to go to war every single fight. Absolutely. Those fights take something out of you. They absolutely do. But at the same vein, we have to look at this from the perspective, brother, he's not in a position to be able to get that fight with Canelo immediately. Not right now. Not right now. At least in my estimation. Not because, oh, he doesn't deserve a shot at a big name, but because even with this fight with Billy, he's not in a position to get this shot with Canelo. If he skirts this matchup with Billy and it fails, and Canelo goes on to fight somebody else or gets a rematch with Terrence Crawford or goes and fight Shiraz, whatever the case may be, all of a sudden now you're out of luck and you're still starting from square one. And that's a whole problem. That's a whole issue. And then the rematch dies down. The hype for that conversation that was seen by 30 plus million people, seen as the fight of the night, on pace to have an argument for fight of the year. I would not waste that if I was in Billy. Because it's shaky, it's volatile right now. It's very much consistent with, hey, we are ready to see some action. And we can definitely see you all as competitors. But at the same vein, we're also looking and saying there's a necessary threshold from name recognition that you still haven't gotten yet. If anything, Christian and Billy would have a better shot. If that rematch did not happen with Martinez and then Billy, there's a real argument. Christian and Billy got a better shot at getting the fight with Canelo first than Martinez, because with all due respect, and Billy's a bigger name. And Billy's been around the landscape of the top in the heavyweight, in the super middleweight division for longer. He's been attached to Canelo for a lot longer than Martinez has. Not saying Martinez isn't good. He is. I'm not saying he isn't proven. He is. But we're also looking at it from a business perspective. It makes more sense that it would be if this rematch didn't happen and Billy would get the better shot, at least in my estimation, in my humble opinion, to get an opportunity to fight Canelo. So Martinez and his team should not skirt this. They shouldn't skirt this. They shouldn't skirt. If I was them, I would not skirt this rematch, because I understand the best shot I got at getting Canelo is getting this fight and winning. If I don't get this fight, it could be a situation where I'm waiting long and I'm wasting opportunity, or I'm on the sideline, hypothetically, while my compatriot gets his chance. And then Shiraz gets his chance. And now it's a year or two or even 3 down the line. I'm still waiting on my shot with Canelo. I'm earning my way back up again, and I should have already been there. It would have been worked better if you beat the brother. So I wouldn't run. I wouldn't go away from that. Let me see. I agree they should do rematch, but if he runs away from it, it's I hope not. I really hope not. Because again, he can beat him. That's the thing. Martinez can beat him, Billy. We understand. Martinez can beat him, Billy. This is not an opponent that it was a situation where everybody felt that it was a wash. Nah, not at all. Oh gosh. This is a situation where this fight was seen as, forget competitive, this fight was seen as, hey brother, good chunk of people felt that you should have won that fight. It's still 50-50 enough that, a draw was warranted, but my gosh, some subtle improvements here and there, we think you take it the next time, or a vast majority of people. So we want to see it. Don't duck it. I would not duck it. Don't run from that to try to get with Canelo. Handle this business. And I guarantee you, it's going to be better for you. I promise you it's going to be better for you. Let me see. That's why Virgil didn't rematch Bochuk, because his team didn't want him to take so much punishment early on, or he'll have no longevity. Yeah, I do understand that as well. Fighters today only fight once or twice a year, so when one of those are tune-ups, it really hurts. It really hurts the year. And now, I don't want to say this was a tune-up between Martinez and Billy, but I do want to say that at this stage, in my opinion, in both of their careers, this is vying for number 3 in the world of super middleweight from the global recognition standpoint. I would be remiss if I didn't say that this type of fight can definitely take a whole bunch out of you. But I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize, for Martinez's best interest in his career, this close to tasting gold, again, co-main eventing, or being the standout fight on the biggest fight of this year, attached again to Canelo, it's like it would be a fool, in my estimation, to say this is a necessary war I'm gonna have to get into, because if I get this, I take the spot in conversation as the biggest attached names, not just to Canelo, but to the world title as a whole. Legit. I put myself in a position to become a champion if I win this, especially if Crawford drops the belts. If I win against Billy in a rematch. This one fight can set up a real domino effect where Martinez is the champion. I would not risk not taking this opportunity, because this is a risk that's worth it. At least in my opinion, it's a risk that's worth it. But going back to Canelo, we're looking at Canelo and we're saying all of these names: Billy, Martinez, Shiraz, Charlo, who's now coming back up to, who now is moving up to 168. And I believe he's moving up to 168. We got names there that it's like, hey, brother, they're coming. I don't think of Charlo highly until I see him do some more stuff. He looked good in his return, don't get me wrong. That was supposed to set up a fight with Caleb Plant, but even still, what happened? Caleb Plant lost. I'm not putting Canelo in that same vein as Caleb Plant, but I am saying that as time goes on, with potentially the likes of Janibek in the next, 2 years, going to make a run at 168 as well, there are instances we got to say, hey, Canelo, we understand, and I'm even able to admit, I think you'll be able to beat everybody in the division still outside of Terrence Crawford. But I also can recognize that you are not nearly as invulnerable to all of the biggest threats that I initially had you against before this loss. It's just not the case anymore. And it's going to take you being able to change yourself in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can. I'm going to be real. I don't know if he can. We gotta keep it a beat. There's a real instance where I don't know if this cat has the ability to adapt his game as he continues to decline in a physical perspective. This is not me saying that he is washed up. This ain't me saying that he is somebody who's gonna fall by the wayside and just absolutely be a bum. But this is also me saying, as I real quick need to make a... Hold on. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, cool. Almost forgot I had to make a change. There we go. We're back. We're good. I had to make a change. We're back and we're good. But what was I saying? In regards to his ability, what was I saying? Good gosh, what was I saying? I had to edit something. What was my train of thought? Canelo coming back, bum. Yeah, he's not a bum. He's not a scrub. But he's also at a position where he can become beatable to the people that we normally said would be able to handle him, or he would be able to handle. Can he change? I don't know if he has the capacity. I don't know if he has the ability. What the change would need to be would be the head movement. And sustaining what he fought like in this fight with Crawford. Because again, I can even capitulate. He did a lot of right stuff against Terrence Crawford. That's why I was saying that Terrence Crawford, his greatness was so impressive. Because Canelo hadn't moved like he was moving in that fight with Crawford in a mighty long time. If we're going to be perfectly honest. Doing the small stuff. The feints. Jab with the hand feints and foot feints. The pre-slipping in the head movement. trying to trap Canelo, being more aggressive and trying to trap Terrence Crawford, being more aggressive and walking him down, looking to impose his size and strength, but he also doing a lot of the small nuanced stuff in his offense to either bait out opportunities or put Canelo in a choose situation, or put Crawford in a choose situation. Not a lose-lose, but you got to make a choice which decision you're going to make defensively. In a way that he hadn't done in a minute. In a way that we were saying, hey, brother, we don't know if you got that in you anymore. He just got beat. But at the same vein, if he can fight like that against everybody else, yeah, sure, he looks great. But if he doesn't, which is my concern, can he sustain it? And I don't think he can. It's not because he isn't great. It's not because I want to say he's too old. Because again, he's 36. He can absolutely, potentially, show up and be like, okay, hey, all the little things that you saw me do against Terrence Crawford, I'm going to keep on doing because they are the right stuff, which is great. And I am revamping my style a little bit more to even further capitulate to where I'm at with my body, which is what he said. Like I said at the start of the show, I'm not what I used to be. My body couldn't do what I wanted it to do. He does that, we got ourselves something. But can he consistently do it? Or is he too rooted in his own style to where there's no shifting that's going to happen? I'm not saying you remold it from scratch. I'm not saying that. But there is a change that does need to be made to make sure that we ensure that we see Canelo still at the top. Might be some concerns that it might not, that those types of changes might not happen. Or if they do happen, they don't last as long as they should. But let me keep on reading what you all had to say. Mr. Miyagi, how you doing? Salute from the UK. Appreciate you from across the pond. So glad you're here with us on today. We're happy that you're here. We're having conversations about, again, the NBA, boxing. Again, we got Tank, we got Canelo, we got, what else did I have in my notes? We got, hold on. Let me pull up my notes real quick so I can make sure I got the rundown. We got Anthony Joshua we need to talk. We got Tyson Fury. We got a whole litany of stuff in upwards of 2 hours and 30 minutes that we need to have with this show. And of course, we got the NBA and the championship round, so we can stay right here. We're gonna have a lot of conversation. Trust me, this is gonna be a great, action-packed and fun show. But as we continue through, let me see. Canelo has looked so mediocre for years. A lot of fans thought his loss. A lot of fans thought he lost to Skull. Well, he didn't lose to Skull, but he sure enough looked bad in that win to Skull. Skull did not do what needed to be done to make that fight effective. I'm be real. I can point out that he was landing some shots. He was skirting away and then boom, but then afterwards he would just stop all offense absolutely. Running in that vein cannot be rewarded, and it wasn't. It shouldn't. If he had fought more offensively while on the back foot, we got ourselves an argument. But he just didn't at all. And he didn't land the better flush shots. And there was a lot of shots that missed, even when he was trying to be, not rabbit punching like rabbit punching him out in the head, but those quick stuff just to get you off of him. It wasn't effective, at least not to me. So but the ire of concern, yes, was there at the fight with Skull. So will you be talking about Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier arrested for arrested for illegal gambling? The doggone right.
Hey, look at that. We got the problems.
Yeah, we talking about it.
We got some problems.
We talking about it. Like I said, the people come in for boxing. We're gonna at least take the first hour and talk about boxing, because now we got a litany of sports we can cover now on a whole basis, not just fighting. Which again, I can talk about anything, but we're going to give the audience what they want first. And then we're going to delve into the other nuances around the sports world as well. We're a multifaceted show. We got a structure. We got a schedule. We got some time. Trust me, we got some time. We definitely going to talk about this because, my gosh, it's a shock. It's a shock. I tell you what. First it was Jonte Porter. Now it's Terry Rozier. Then now it's Chauncey Billups. Shoot. It's but on Damon Jones, I believe, also got indicted. Don't forget, this could be just tip of the iceberg. Lord, I almost got Gilbert Arenas too. Boy, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. Look, I guarantee you, it's gonna be. This is just the top. Who knows what organizations may be coming about doing something? Shoot, could be happening in San Antonio. Could be happening in Charlotte. Could be happening down in Dallas. Who knows where stuff may go through? We don't know. But this is gonna be entertaining nonetheless. But let me keep on reading what you all gotta say. But we'll cover that later on in the show. I think Canelo, depending on what he is looking to do for his end of his boxing, I don't see him staying at the top of the division. Now I would love for you to expound a little bit more on it, but it sounds like you're saying that Canelo, over the next couple years, might not even be at the top of the division, even without Crawford there? That's a bold statement. I'm not gonna lie. I have my concern, but even again, my issue is that the prime of Canelo, not the prime, the extended period of Canelo won't last nearly as long unless he makes the necessary changes to his style. Not revamping everything from the ground up, but you got to adapt to what you are, which he hasn't been able to do. And he himself said, I couldn't do what I wanted. It's got to be a shift in the move now. But I still think he's going to be able to sustain himself at or near the top up until probably the end of his career. But you're saying that he ain't going to be at the top by the time he gets there. That's a bold statement. Shoot, let me see. Crawford fight showed me a lack of adjustment from both Eddie and Canelo during that fight. And for a lot of people, that's true. Like I said, he did a bunch of stuff right that he wasn't doing for years. It looked like the best Canelo that we had seen in a mighty long time, or at least I had seen for a mighty long time, from in-ring activity and what his style of boxing is. It was great. That Canelo definitely mops everybody at 168. That Canelo could have given Bivol a better opportunity at 175. I'm going to be real. Crawford was just that good. I'm not saying it would have beat Bivol, because again, the physical nature, when he moved up to 175, still would have been a struggle. But if he did all the small stuff that he was doing in this fight, yeah, you're doggone right. He could have gave a better performance against Bivol. It's just Crawford's just that doggone good. He's just that good. But let me see. I agree. A case could be made that Skull won. He was so much on his back though. Should have scored a bit more to secure. And if he had, again, it was the lack of willing engagement. Fighting scared in a manner that was not boxing. That's why he shouldn't have gotten it. And he didn't win that fight. He did not win that fight. But he could have won if he wasn't so scared to throw. And throwing in a manner of desperation rather than, hey, confidence. Yeah. Because that was one of the worst fights we ever seen Canelo have. That was literally Canelo at his lowest. Now, if this Canelo faced off against that Skull, we're having a different conversation. I can say that confidently. Because this Canelo that fought against Crawford was not that Canelo. Thank gosh. Thank goodness. But even still, Crawford, again, was just that good. But but to not get away from the subject, the question is how or can Canelo change? Can he change? That's the question at hand. We see the deficiencies, especially physically. Can he change now? With what we saw against that fight with Terrence Crawford. Though everybody else is not Terrence Crawford, there is still a necessary need of evolution. Is he capable of that? And I'm scared to say that he might not be. Not because he isn't great, but because for some fighters, this is just who they are. And they can't make those drastic shifts. The fact that Laura was able to do it at 42 years old, from a fleet-footed counterpuncher to a flat-footed stand and engage dominant knockout artist was something I never expected. Never. But doggone it, he did it. Like, it's a delicate dance. And it's an integral part of a fighter, but also, in some cases, everybody, even if they're great, isn't capable of it. Everybody can't change. Sometimes you don't need to, but also sometimes you're just incapable. Is that the case with Canelo? That's what I would love to hear from you. Let me see. Roy Jones said it. Canelo had only one way to beat Bud, and when that trick runs out, so does Canelo. And that's for the rest of the division. Does that bode true as well? At least down the line. We can say that doesn't bode true now at 36, 37 years old. But once he hits 38 and that trick isn't able to work against people in the division anymore, hypothetically, just like it didn't work against Terrence Crawford. Now we're at a crossroads. I'm not gonna lie, we're at a crossroads, and it's a concern. When he did step to attack Crawford, the time he would step on the outside of Crawford's foot, he would land clean, but then he kept stepping inside of Crawford's foot instead. Don't get me wrong, that was the best Canelo I've seen for a while against Crawford. But I was shouting in the TV, asking why does he keep stepping inside of Bud's front foot? And like I said, those things could have been part of the game plan, could have been forced to happen. It's worked every other time against every other opponent. These are the aspects of the evolution, whether it can or can't happen. And it's all of this is indicative of, we understand time is winding up. Let's be real. This was the best Canelo, like you said, that we've seen in a hot minute. But he said it himself, brother, my body ain't doing what I want to do. This same Canelo, come next time he fights, might not even be there. With the nature of how quickly your best version of self can leave you, this version of Canelo may not even be there the next time he comes out to fight, hypothetically. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's got about, 2 years, 3 years of at least being at this level with a consistent decline just because of the nature of time coming into effect. And then by year 3, 38, we it's gonna be saying, hey, he's vulnerable for everybody now. Can he stave off that and retool to become a champion with this next crop of individuals if he's able to adapt? Can he get something more than just a left hook to the body as the most dominant thing? You don't go away from it. You don't go away from it. But do you go and overhaul your offense? Do you go and make yourself less predictable? Do you go through and continue to utilize the head movement? Do you go through and be even more effective in cutting off the ring? If you can't react in the same way, do you further lean into the catch and shoot style? Do you go through and look for more volume in punching rather than going for straight power on everything that you throw? Do you use your jab more, even as a shorter fighter, to make better openings and cause traps to come about, instead of just only throwing the double jab as the setup for something's coming directly after? Do you change your timing? Do you change your angle of attack? Do you try to wear them down by doing what Tyson Fury did? Holding them, make them carry your weight. Do you lean into more uppercuts? Whatever. I'm just throwing out options. But something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. Because again, right now, the concern is right now the notion is, at least for me, he still beats everybody at 168 that isn't Canelo, or that isn't Crawford, excuse me. At least in my opinion. Right now, with how we looked in this fight. He still beats everybody at 168 that isn't Terrence Crawford. But I'm looking at the future, 38 years old, when the decline of his physical ability really does drop. Technically, what are you going to do to change? And does he have the capacity to? And my thing is, I don't think he's got the capacity to adapt enough to sustain that level of dominance. I don't want to say top tier dominance, because again, I think he's always going to be near that. But there's going to be a coming point in time where it's like, okay, more than Canelo's not the same, more than just the conversation Canelo's older, oh my gosh, Canelo can't change. He's getting beat the same way at this stage in his career. We understand it because he's old, but we also say this could have been staved off if he had made this adjustment at this point in time, when the crossroads was here, when the fork in the road was ready to be had. You could have adapted. And you didn't, and now you're paying the price of, well, you finally got caught up to by everybody else, not just by the pound for pound greatest, but not just by the pound for pound great of today. And so we're gonna have to wait and see. Honestly, we're gonna have to wait and see. Absolutely. But again, we still got some more stuff to cover in the world of boxing, because it's a whole bunch of conversation. We had to talk about also Anthony Joshua. Let's not forget that. In fact, before I go through, let me pull up. Where's that? There we go. Yep. There we go. We're still gonna cover the NBA, absolutely. But we also gotta talk about the likes of Anthony Joshua, who is looking to be scheduled to come back later on, I think early next year. I'm not going to say December. I think it's going to be next year. Rumor has it he's going to be fighting over in Ghana. I think Matchroom has already secured a deal where they're going to have a fight over in Ghana, with AJ being one of their headliners. Now the question becomes, if this is true, then who is the opponent for the brother? Who's going to be the man? Who's going to be the man to come through for Anthony Joshua in his return? And the real question is, hey, can AJ even come back to a level of dominance? Can AJ come back to the top 5 of the heavyweight division? We're not even going to bring up the aspect of championship aspirations, because as long as Usyk holds the throne, AJ has no shot. I can firmly say that. I can firmly say that. Absolutely.
Hey, look at we got the problems here.
Right.
We got the problems here.
But that doesn't mean that he can't make a run. That doesn't mean he can't make a run. It doesn't mean the idea of a Dubois status is not possible. But is it feasible for where AJ is right now? Because he's 36 years old, absolutely. Yes, he still is 35, 36. He physically still looks like a brick house. But this would be the third recovery road that he's been on. And I'm a little bit wary of how far this road can go this time. First time, in fact, hold on, let me I think I got the wrong title card. Hold on a minute. Doggone it, I got the wrong, give me a second, hold on, I typed in the wrong title card. Everything, okay, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. I see the problem, hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay. Yes. Okay. We got it. Okay. We got it now. We got it. We're good. We got the right title card. There we go. AJ return concerns. That's what I was trying. That was supposed to be the thing that I changed for for this thing. But either way, with them coming back and with the rumors of it coming forward, hey, show seems like it's got a rhythm of adaptability. More so, Anthony Joshua's a bigger concern because now, with these heavy hitters, with RJ Caballero, with, Mark McCauley, I dare say even with F.A. Jogba, and those two, with all due respect, are at the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to the threat levels of the contending status of champions. Now, I love Martin McCauley, but I can also understand where he's at, which is at that lower tier of contendership. Big Bang Jang at this point in time, it's, even though he's bottomed out from the standpoint of, and he's one of my favorite fighters as well in the heavyweight division, but we understand where he's at when it comes to this landscape of boxing. And even he is a big threat to Anthony Joshua on any road to getting back to the top. Got just Sony, you got Fabian Wardley, you got Moses Atalma coming up. You got Teta Moana, who also, if he pans out great, brother, in the next year or two, he's going to be, everybody's going to have to start watching out. We got goons at the heavyweight division now that are, at least from the perspective of Anthony Joshua, hey, that's a murderer's road to climb through. Don't forget, you got Joseph Parker. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Joshua, this will be his third run back to the top of the mountain, and this time he is well behind. It ain't gonna be no Robert Elanius, James Franklin, and then Francis Ngannou as the road to redemption to show that, yeah, you still belong and to get your shot at the title. It ain't gonna be that type of road anymore. We get that, and I'm not saying that was easy. It was impressive, him being able to retool, regroup from that loss. And from all the concerns we had about him being, he's too defensive, he's not willing to throw anymore, he's scared of what's going to come back at him, all that stuff, the mental cracking that he had with his own mind and psyche inside the ring, it looked like he fought his way to blending that back together. And then it went and tipped over to the other side of the spectrum when he fought against Daniel Dubois, and he's ended up fighting Dubois with no regard for human life, let alone his own, from the standpoint of no defense at all and nothing but offense as his only way. And he, again, the crack has now gone in the other direction. He is now too offensive, and he doesn't have the defense that he should. He was at one point in time the most balanced heavyweight in the world. Offense, defense, power, fundamentals, speed, accuracy, he had it all. Combination punching. As a well-rounded heavyweight, he was at one point in time the best heavyweight in the world, both in accolades and in talent. Even with Tyson Fury coming back, there was a point in time where AJ still looked like, hey, brother, I'm a bad man. Now, he ain't getting back there. And he's got to get back there. But he got to do it against a absolute tar pit of killers. Either you'll get bitten by we're going to go back to tar dinosaurs, or it was a lot of them died stuck in tar. He's got to go walk through that. Either he drowns in just the sea of volume of great fighters, and he's not good enough to get up to, or he gets put down by one of the monsters, if he does make it that far, and just gets chopped to pieces. Because Anthony Joshua right now, he may have the physical capabilities to hang with anybody, but it goes back to up here, he ain't where he needs to be. Confidence-wise, yeah, he got that back, but now the balance of an IQ fighter, from doing the responsible thing while still looking to be the most powerful version of yourself, he ain't there no more. The balance is off. The yin and yang ain't yin and yang. The dark and the light, they're not melded together in perfect harmony like they used to be. And he's got to get back to that now, stylistically. against this landscape, that's going to be a hard thing to ask, if not anything at all. And that's the most guaranteed win of a big name that we have for Anthony Joshua right now is Deontay Wilder. We got to keep it a spade. The best win that we got for Anthony Joshua right now that we can hang our hat on that it's going to happen of any of the big notable names at heavyweight is Deontay Wilder, if that fight even ever took place.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here. We got the
That's
problems
it.
here.
That's it. That's the most consistent thing I can say about AJ. If he faced off against Wilder, he would beat him. And even that is very much concerned. Because that could end in one hit, absolutely. But from a ability standpoint, yes, that's the most guaranteed victory of any of the notable people. That's it. And that's a problem. That's a major problem. That's a huge dilemma. It's a dilemma that, again, AJ kind of dug his own grave in. He put himself in this position, and I'm scared he ain't going to be able to get out. I really am, but I want to hear what you all got to say. AJ next opponent most likely will be a top 100 guy. Eddie was saying that it's not going to be any fight to get excited about, but just to get AJ ring rust removed. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, sure. I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's going to sound crazy. Excuse me, it's going to sound crazy, but at the same time, what if this backfires as well? What if that backfires as well? The concern with Anthony Joshua doesn't just stem from the elites of the division. It also stems down to the fodder. It stems down to the quote-unquote bottom of the barrel aspect. Because Anthony Joshua is in a unique position with what he is as a fighter and where he is in his career. Where this is a man who there is no fight that is guaranteed with him. There isn't. He is in the same boat as Deontay Wilder. In a way better position, but he's in the same boat. From the standpoint of that fight with Hearn Dawn, that was supposed to be a gimme, and even with that fight, I was walking into it saying, this could go bad. More than people may realize, this might not go in a good way for Wilder. And this is supposed to be the easiest fight of his career at this stage since he's been a contender. It's supposed to be this is a showcase fight. And this could go awry in a heartbeat. That unease of, hey man, I know he should win, but,
Hey, look at this. We got the problems
I ain't
here.
sure.
We got the problems
I
here.
ain't sure. I'm not sure. I'm 80-20, but that 20% is mighty scary. It shouldn't even be 20%, but it is because it's Wilder. Anthony Joshua's in that same boat. It's in a way better position, but it's in the same boat. There's no gimme fight for him that I see and that I feel comfortable with. Hey, yeah, he's going to do what he needs to do. Yeah, it's a tune-up. Ring rust. Just get comfortable with fighting again. There's nothing like that. It's still some unease. It's still some unease. Woo. I got to be real. Because we understand the vulnerability of Anthony Joshua. It's not just, he can get punched out or knocked out, which is still viable. It's the fact that he isn't even fighting like the AJ that we know could handle all of these fodder fights with minimal risk. Absolutely, because he has no balance in what he is as a stylistic fighter. He keeps going to too many extremes on one end of the spectrum or another. And especially now with what we saw with Daniel Dubois, because at least I could say in the past that while AJ was very much scared to throw a punch at all, that brother was making sure he wasn't getting caught. I could at least say that he'll jab you to death and be as conservative as can be because he doesn't want to get hit, but at least he's doing everything that he needs to do defensively, being as attentive as possible, because the vulnerability of what can happen to him is indeed a fear factor for him. But at least that forced a level of educatedness and a fundamental aptitude to consistently come out even more fervently than it was when he was in his prime. It was just the fact he was scared to throw. Now he's not scared to throw. He thinks he's He-Man, punching with all get out, walking in with his hands down against Daniel Dubois, one of the hardest hitters in the heavyweight division in a championship fight, and you walking in like this brother is doggone Frank Martin? My gosh. My goodness. We got a problem. That type of AJ, that is this much of a risk, can't get put out by anybody. We can't get put out by anybody. There's no confidence with this man of absolutes. There's no confidence of this man with absolutes of any level in boxing. Except for maybe the Jake Paul level and a couple amateur, well not amateur, and a couple rungs above. But I'm going to be real and say that it's a concern, man. Because he could look bad in this fight. Just like I had concerns with Deontay Wilder. He could look bad in this fight. He could look like he could be. It could be like, he ain't got it no more. And it's a product of his own doing, which I hate. I really do hate. But man, it's frustrating. Let me see. This is off the backs of what he had said with his previous comment with AJ getting the ring rust. And then I think they get Fury, and depending on the results, excuse me, of that fight, AJ will make a run for a title. Now I don't know if he's gonna fight Anthony Joshua now, because if I go and pose this to you now in the most recent clips or the most recent where's it at? The most recent outings in regards to Tyson Fury and talking about the continuation of what he's gonna do for his career. Let me pull it up right now for you all to be able to see as it is loading up. I got a lot of stuff saved. But Tyson Fury said himself about what his future is gonna be. And I will play it for you right here, right now in the old picture. And picture as we're going in, as we're demonstrating. Here we go. Here we go. There we are. All right, here we go. We got it. We got it, and we're working good. We're working great. Here we go. Picture in picture. Tyson Fury talking about the continuation of his career and what he's going to do. I'll let him speak for himself. There we go. There we go. And part of words of Tyson Fury. Here's what he's going to do for the rest, or seemingly for the future, of his career.
You know what I mean? So, like, I've not really spoke to Usyk since the fight, but yeah, I know he's said some stuff, like, not negative stuff, like good stuff, like he wouldn't mind a third fight. Obviously, it's a big payday for him, isn't it? And for me also, but it's just like, for me now, what's the point? Like, if you give me another 100 million, what am I going to do with it? Like, it's not going to affect my life at all. It won't affect my kids' life. It won't affect their kids' life. It just make them fucking spoiled brats and make them shit people. There's no actual reason for me to go back in the boxing ring. 37-year-old, I've been punched to fuck for the last 25 years. What do I want to go back boxing for? Yeah. It used to be for the money, the titles, all that shit. But now I've got more money than I can spend. I've got unlimited amounts of fucking belts and titles. And does it make me any happier? No. Was the chase better than the victory? Yes. the climb was better than the fucking mountain peak. To be fair, you know what I mean?
So like, we're and again, and we also say, excuse the language. We do apologize. We do apologize. Viewer discretion is advised. Like I said, we're dealing with. I got a censor button. We're trying to be sponsor friendly. Working at a line. You get what I'm saying. But oh man, but as you can see, with Fury himself, he ain't got nothing to come back. He's saying he ain't got nothing to come back with. And mind you, just a couple months ago, he was saying that, hey, I'm training, I'm getting ready, I'm getting fit. We making some big plans, whatever the case may be. Now, we've been going back and forth with, Fury ain't gonna fight. Fury's always wishy-washy. Fury does this, that, and the third. You're right, he does. No question about it. But at the same vein, from the standpoint of standing on, I'm done. That was the most candid and honestly the most real situation that I've seen him like be legit about. This is the most transparent and the most authentic when it comes to legitimate retirement that I've seen Tyson Fury. I don't think he's coming back. I'm dead serious. I truly don't think he's coming back. He might, unless Turkey pays a boatload of money, unless Anthony Joshua, the only case I could see him coming back would be for AJ to get a world title. And now it's AJ versus Fury for the world championship. But that's only if AJ even gets a belt in the first place. And so and even with that being the case, if AJ somehow did the impossible, now we're saying, well, does Fury really feel that it's worth it? Because again, I didn't believe it all the other times. And I was right not to believe it. This don't seem right. This seems like another play. He wants a return. He wants his comeback. He wants his get back. He's using it for negotiation. He's leveraging his power as a star to lead this sport, to make it so that now you're going to have to give me what I want. But now the leverage is gone. The leverage is gone in this situation. There's no title all around his waist. There's no rematch that he's trying to grab. There's no fight from the standpoint of best versus best that we are all debating when it comes to seeing you. We still want to see you back in the ring, no question about it. But from the standpoint of what? Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay. My bad. I thought something was going awry with my camera. I got scared for a minute. We're good. We is okay. Absolutely. But again, when looking, continuing, Anthony Joshua, he gets a belt. Fury comes. Will Fury want to come back? It's all predicated on, is it really worth it? Because there's no leverage involved. As before I got interrupted by the camera thing, no belts around his waist, no situations of I'm in control. I'm not the biggest. I'm still one of the biggest money grabs in the heavyweight division, but I'm not the guy anymore. And I'm past my prime, or at least from the standpoint of from a physical age. Hey, I'm old in the boxing world. Do I really care to come back? This is what I feel is real. When somebody says I have nothing else to prove or nothing else to do. Legitimately. And unless we see again Moses or Talma come along and be like, I got that fire back. I want to face off against a young cat. Or somebody gets disrespectful. But I might just fall for the trap this time and say I think he's not gonna come back. I might just fall for the trap. I might just fall for the trap. I never do this. I never do this. I never do this. I don't do it. I don't do it. But I'm doing it this time. I'm doing it this time because he is more than just content. He looks and sounds not just at peace, but he sounds like I've gotten my fill. I've done what I need to do. For the first time ever, I've heard him talk when it comes to retirement. So I'm like, I dare say I think it's gonna be real. Let me see. I like AJ versus Wilder in London somewhere. I would hope that happens. That would be a dream if that happened for Anthony Joshua. But he's got to dominate this fight in a better way than we saw Wilder fight Herndon. And then they cannot waste time. They need to make that fight immediately. Immediately after. And don't try to wait around for that. That's gonna be a problem. Wilder is probably a top 20 heavyweight at this point. Man, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah, I dare say you could put him in potentially top 25 from a technical perspective. Top 20 sounds about fair, but that is, that's, dang. That's around like Joe Joyce territory. That's Derek Chisora territory. Shoot, that's Dillian White territory. If you want to be completely honest, that's dang. I tell you, I never thought I'd see that. Let me see. I get you. AJ could get rocked by an unknown journeyman. That's tough, but I think AJ's problem is that he has deviated from the type of fighter, he was never a real effective counterpuncher. So he's trying to be somebody that's looking to catch the counter instead of being more of a front foot, aggressive puncher boxer. That's where he shined. A boxer puncher, excuse me. Not puncher boxer. Boxer puncher. When he was a boxer puncher, in that type of stylistic vein, he was incredible. Beyond just the Klitschko fight. And before the Ruiz fight. Shoot, even after the Ruiz fight. When he became a sniper from range with that level of confidence and still being adamant of, yeah, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Hey, as a boxer puncher, yeah, he's phenomenal. But that requires a balance. And at this point in time, he ain't got that. You right. You're absolutely right. He's gone away from the style that worked. Can he even get back to it is the question. I don't think so. I thought his best look was when he was training with Derek James. I think that was the trainer before he looked like he was still himself, but was a little more defensively minded and calm. Yeah, that was with the Franklin and Robert Elenius fights, I believe. But I think it was Ben Davidson. I'm trying to make sure I got my trainers right. If I'm wrong, please excuse me. I'm still young. Okay, I'm still young, and I'm trying to keep track of like 4 different sports to make sure I can cover it. I'm not trying to get nobody wrong. I'm in a pretty good dust for it. But I believe during his stint when he was going and reigning at the top, he was training with Ben Davis or one of the other great trainers. Think out of the UK. Who is one of the great trainers out of the UK and just in all of boxing as he's done a phenomenal job with some people. And if I have his name wrong, please excuse me. I'm not trying to get his name wrong, but the guy before Derek James on the rise when he became world heavyweight champion. That was when I think he looked at his absolute best. Look at him in that fight with Pulev. Look at him in his first fight with Dillian White. Look at him in his fight with Joseph Parker. That's where he looked. Not just an Adonis, but like stylistically, oh gosh, it's going to be a nightmare. We just want to get back to that. But that just requires balance. It requires balance nonetheless. But again, we still got more to cover on this show. As we do want to make sure that we can cover. We got enough time for the NBA and so much more for the championship rounds. So we got to discuss real quick, though, Some of y'all don't want to do it. We got to do it nonetheless. We have to. I'm sorry, because the fight's coming up. I'm sorry. 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 I know. Tank versus Jake Paul. I know. If you're watching, if you're listening to the podcast, not watching, title card says Tank versus Jake Paul. Tank KO, yes or no? That's the question. And again, I apologize. I know y'all don't want to talk about this fight. I completely understand, but it would be in my disgrace as an analyst because it's coming on the horizon. And we think we less than a month away. That if we don't delve into this, at least in some capacity, because the biggest question is, well, can the Butter knock him out, or will he get knocked out in terms of Tank versus Jake? And more importantly, can Tank get this KO in the slightest because he's in it with the heavyweight, fighting at 135. Didn't even want to fight at 140. And that's a big concern with a lot of people. For many, it's not even a case of who's going to win. It's how the fight's going to be. Mind you, it's been confirmed with this fight that there is indeed a KO bonus. As I can put it up right here for you all to be able to witness on, again, the old picture-in-picture as I'm scrolling through to get to it. There is legitimately a KO bonus. I tried to find a clip of him saying it, but it's real. There's a knockout bonus. There's 2 legitimate judges. There's an AI judge. It's been confirmed now, though it's an exhibition, there will be a legitimate winner announced at the end of the fight. And per the way Jake Paul is talking, which again, when it comes to him, you may not trust a lot of what he says, but at least from a business perspective, when it comes to money, he don't mess around with that. If he says something is what it's going to be. I can at least say that, as much as I don't like the brother, for what he is in the boxing world as a fighter. It's going to be a huge point to where you will be a fool not to go for a KO in this regard. So from the conversations of whether or not this fight is fake or real, I can say, like I've said for every other fight with Jake Paul, this is a real fight. It's an exhibition. Yeah, it ain't going to count for the record, but it's a real fight. It's going to mean something with what happens in this fight. Be real. We can't just forget that it won't count. There has never been an exhibition that we haven't seen and said, oh, somebody did not win or lose. Every legitimate exhibition has devolved into, we just going to town now. We fighting for real. Happened with Inoue. Happened with Muhammad Ali. It happens all the time. It is inevitably, it's sparring. But even sparring turns into a real war every point in time at some point, especially on the grand stage. This is going to be just like that. And they are going to look to knock out each other. And the biggest question is, can Tank do it? Even bigger than can Tank do it. Hey, but if he doesn't do it, what's going to be the ramifications? The outcome of this fight. We have to be real. We're going to watch, even though we don't want to. We have to be real. We're going to have not just opinions, we're going to have outlooks on their foreseeable boxing future in regards to this fight. If Tank loses this fight, my gosh, retire. If Tank loses this fight,
Hey, look at this. We got some problems
I don't
here.
care if it's an exhibition.
We got some problems here.
I don't care if it's an exhibition. We're gonna say, hey man, hey brother, this is you. You were never better than Shakur. You're not better than Abdullah Mason. You're a bum. You're a scrub. That fight with Ryan Garcia was a fluke. You wouldn't have beat him at 140. Devin Haney would have outboxed you. You shouldn't. The fact that you would have faced a boxing is a laughing stock to every fan of yours. It's gonna get that grimy when it comes to the conversations going to be had about Tank. If he does indeed lose this fight. If Jake Paul loses this fight, well, guess what? His career is done. His career is done. There's no Canelo. There's no Anthony Joshua. There's no more going through. But I did say with Jake Paul, this is the end of the road that he wanted to get to in the first place. Wasn't a world title, though that was option 1. Or that was option 3, the last option. It was Canelo for number 1, Tank Davis as number 2, and then a championship as number 3. A legit world title. Which was, if it happens to get there, hey, I'll take it. Because I'll be that big of a marketing genius that I'll put myself in that position. But again, this was the end game. Tank is part of this end game. After Tank, there's nobody else outside of Canelo. I'm dead serious. He kept amping up the intensity of spectacle. First it was Nate Robinson, then it was Ben Askren, then it was Tyron Woodley, then it was Tyron Woodley again, then it was Anderson Silva, then it was Tommy Fury, and he lost that fight, but somehow he still was able to retain just enough relevancy to redo his name and continue his stint in the boxing world. And now, fought a bum, Julio Cesar Chavez. Then he fought Nate Diaz. Well, not then, but in subsequent he fought Nate Diaz. Big following. Then he fought Mike Perry. Tough guy that everybody was like, oh man, even though it wasn't going to be close, and it wasn't close. Then he fought Mike Tyson. And he jumped the shark in a way that we thought was abhorrent. Purists hate him to this day, as do I, as a boxer. And casuals saw it as a farce. The boxing landscape is ashamed that this happened. Yet still it made money, more money than any other fight. Over 130 million people watched that fight on Netflix. 130. Canelo and Crawford, though it was due to, again, them starting the main event at 1 in the morning, got less eyes on them than the man of Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Again, scheduling played a part, absolutely. But nonetheless, you saw how big of an event that was. Now the only way to top that is to do Tank or Canelo. And Tank is the guy. Now, and if he knocks out Tank, even if you think it's going to be a situation where it's a weight disadvantage, he's too big, he fought at 230, Tank's 140, maybe 160. He got you. And he did it. And we let it, and boxing world let it happen. Because they let the fight go through. They put it on themselves. And Jake Paul again wins. No matter what caveat that you think is going to happen. The only acceptable outcome in this fight is that Tank knocks out Jake Paul. That's the only, that is it. That's it. Now I even think Showbiz The Adult said this on his show. And a couple other podcasts as well. Which, again, hi, how are you? I'm new to the space. Hopefully you like what I'm saying. Hopefully we can collab at some point. Hey, yeah, phenomenal. Anybody, no matter who. But regardless of which, just shameless plug aside. Shameless plug aside. But I agree. This is a situation where this is the only avenue of success that he knocks this brother out. That's the only one that's going to be acceptable to the public. That's the only one that's going to be viable to sustain Tank's own cachet. He has no legacy to build upon. It's not a reputation. Remember, Tank has no legacy to build upon. Tank has no legacy to hold his hat on. Tank has no legacy to put on a pedestal. The only thing that he's got is vibes and reputation. But if he doesn't knock out Jake Paul, don't matter that Jake Paul's 260, 210, however much he's going to come to this fight. Don't matter that Tank is 140. Doesn't matter there's a weight class. Doesn't matter about the gloves. Doesn't matter about the rules. It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about the spectacle. When that bell rings, and if you don't knock him out, a win won't even be good enough, so you have to do it. And if you don't, goes to a decision, well, brother, people will still turn their back on you. The only acceptable thing of, hey, you took this spectacle, you took this fight and said, Lamont Moach, you better end this entire run, or else we're done with you. People are holding on to Tank's fandom by a thread after all this debacle solely because they're saying this is an easy fight and he'll knock him out. And they won't have to worry. If that doesn't transpire, you can wrap this up and send it home. Oh, dude, that fan base, you think they're turning on him already. You think they turned on him for just taking the fight. Don't let him not get a KO. The win is irrelevant from the standpoint of what the public's going to see. They're going to see that you ain't knock out this brother. You're supposed to be a dude who's that dominant. We don't want to see you no more. We don't think you can beat anybody at 135. We don't think that you're all that bravado and talk. We over that. You couldn't get this. I don't care if he's 230. You couldn't get this butt out of here. Yeah. That's in 10 rounds. Yeah, that's a problem. I'm telling you. I'm giving you the perspective of what the public's going to say, which is why this KO is so important. And if can he do it? Yes. But it's paramount. It is the most important. I'm telling you. It's more important. I'm telling you right now, it's more important than just getting the win. On Tank's side, it's more important than just getting the win. It's either KO or nothing for Tank. Because anything less than that, a loss is the absolute worst thing in the world. A win is the second worst thing that can happen. If it's not a knockout. Because that's the only reason people are even willing to watch this fight. Is because they think you're going to stop this show. Stop this farce of a boxing career. That's it. And the reason why I said he can knock him out is because he's knocked out heavyweights at the level of Jake Paul or above in sparring on multiple reported occasions. And with footage. He's dealt with people more skilled than Jake Paul, not just in his own career, absolutely, but in sparring against heavyweights who have been in the sport for 10 years or longer. Prospects or not, even if they're not the top of the top, he's still putting down people that are well and good leagues better, or at least on par with the likes of Jake Paul. That's with headgear. That's with bigger gloves. All of it. That's real. And I also think he can knock him out because he understands the gravity of this fight, as much of a spectacle as it is. There is no other option. I need you to understand that. There is no other option for Tank than a KO. I need you to get this understood because this is going to be one of the biggest make or break moments in Tank's career. The make aspect is simply sustaining what your reputation is and who you are in the boxing world. The break aspect is you are now seen as not just the scum of the earth when it comes to boxing from a competitive standpoint, but you are also now never going to be able to be taken seriously by anybody of your peers or of your opponents or of your fans anymore. Regardless of the weight disadvantage, because it doesn't matter in the eyes of the viewer. Only thing that's going to matter is the fact that this brother could not knock out Jake Paul, or this man got beat by Jake Paul. Because the opportunity is going to be there. Jake Paul overextends on all of his shots. Jake Paul still gets tired by round 6. Jake Paul still can't deal with speed. Jake Paul still can't deal with forward aggression. Jake Paul still does the same thing Devin Haney does, to an even more egregious extent. When he throws out that jab, letting that hand go fully awry. He ain't got the reaction time of Tank. He ain't got the instincts of Tank. Tank can't reach him. Tank can touch him. Tank can spot people taller than him, or at least as tall as him. Mario Barrios, 6 feet tall. Jake Paul, 6'1". He ain't fought somebody this heavy, but he's dealt with people that have vastly more experience, instincts, ability, agility, dexterity, and it's all around athleticism, coupled with actual mind for what this sport can be. Everything should point to him being able to get this KO. Coupled with what he's done against other people Jake Paul's size in sparring with headgear that were at or well above, emphasis on well above Tank's or well above Jake Paul's ability. Answer should be yes, no doubt about it. But I'm telling you right now, the knockout isn't a option. It is the only option. It's not a outcome. It is the only outcome. If this doesn't happen, he does not get this KO, I guarantee you, everything that you see about Tank right now, from the standpoint of his standing in the boxing world today, even with how much people are already turning their backs on him, understandably so, I'm telling you right now, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you want to see a man drop off the face of the earth from the standpoint of being vilified, it's gonna be him. It's gonna be him. Even in the win. If the win's not a knockout. And then after that, again, the whole question of what's he going to do afterwards? Will he fight an actual competent fighter? Will he give Lamont Roach a rematch? Will he go for a title at 135? Will he fight against Shakur Stevenson? Will he fight against Floyd Schofield? Will he fight against Richardson Hitchens at 140? Anybody. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. Anybody to move up after he's fought at after he's fought at cruiserweight. It's going to be. The wheels are turning in the fandom. If you can do that, you can do this. And we're not paying anymore for anything less than that. That's what this could fall into. That's where this thing can get really sketchy for Tank. Because now, like I said before, you've boxed yourself into a corner. You've boxed yourself into an instance where there's only one way out. And that is to go through and you go through murderer's row. But even before that, there's no other option but to put Jake Paul down, because if you don't, it's going to be almost as bad as if you lost. Because winning by decision is going to be one of the worst things in the world. It's going to be one of the worst things in the world. Absolutely one of the worst things in the world. But again, as we keep on going through, we still got other topics of discussion, like with the NBA is back. Yes, sir. Hey. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Now we can talk about basketball. Now we can talk about b-ball. Yes, sir. We covered everything in the boxing world, at least on my end. Let me see what you all's comments real quick. But now we can talk about the NBA. I would play the NBA theme song, but I need to make sure I ain't going to get copyright stricken. So... Oh, brother, let me read the last of your chats before we keep on going through. Teddy Berkshire, how you doing? Hey, brother, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. If you would like to give a support to your channel, by the way, shameless plug, we got Cash App, we got PayPal, we got links down below in the description. If you would like to come and support anything we'll do, put some extra money in my pockets, and help us to make sure we make this show bigger, better, and grander, all for you and your viewing pleasure. Subscribe and join the Empire if you haven't already. Come on, hit the notification bell. Leave a like on the video. Get the likes up, please, on this show if you like what we've been doing. Because I'm telling you, the more voices we got, the better it gets. But you're still going to get all the energy possible, because this is the hottest show in all the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Let me keep on reading what you all got to say before we delve into the NBA and then subsequently the championship rounds. Let me see. Canelo ain't finished. He just needs to fight lower opponents. He's not finished, absolutely. However, I don't know if he is in a position, like with Anthony Joshua, to say, hey, you need to go and fight lower opponents right now. He's still the second best super middleweight in the world. Without Terrence Crawford, he's the best super middleweight in the world. He is still one of the two cash cows in all of boxing, with now Terrence Crawford. And he still is seen as a torch bearer for this sport. He's still an icon. Everybody would give anything to fight. He's still in a position where you can't dumb down your competition. You got to fight your way back up against the killers that are coming up now. Now you got to fight him, Billy. Now you got to fight Shiraz. Now you got to fight Martinez. Now you got to fight potentially Janibek if he moves up in a couple of years. Now you got to fight Charlo, depending on how he looks in a year. Whenever he comes back to 168, all of a sudden that could be an actual threat, especially if he wins a fight by knockout. You got yourself some tools in your tool belt that you need to regroup and sharpen up, absolutely. But you also got work you still got to do because there's no rest because of where you are and who you are. So I don't think he's going to be able to fight fodder like these other fighters, because he's going to still be in contention for a world championship immediately. I can guarantee you whatever number one contender status is going to happen for the titles, whether Crawford holds them or whether Crawford drops them, it's going to involve Canelo as the man to beat to get the shot at the belt. I can guarantee you that's what's going to happen. I promise you. All roads under Terrence Crawford still lead to Canelo, which speaks to his greatness, but that's what the case is. So I don't think he can take fodder. Let me see. Worley's team plans to KO Parker in the first 3 rounds. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something right now. We're going to talk about this in the championship rounds after we cover the NBA, because we do need to make sure that we cover the NBA. We got some basketball fans in here. We got some people. We're trying to be a well-rounded sports show. Hey, we're still doing what we do best on here. We don't just cover boxing, but we're going to cover Wardley in the championship rounds, because we covered him on Tuesday, I believe on Tuesday. So we're going to cover the other topics first, and then we're going to come back. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If Wardley does KO Parker in 3 rounds, I'll be shocked and impressed. But if he doesn't, and it gets to round 5, everybody better be scared for Wardley. Because at that point in time, that's about when the tool belt starts to run out. That's about when the grit and will and heart of Wardley start to shine through, but the skills diminish. That's about when we start to see this brother get, I'm not going, desperate's the wrong word, but we start seeing this brother relying on, hey brother, something's going to land. Something's going to land. I just got to keep on throwing against Joseph Parker. Especially if he can have the defense like what we saw with Justice Hooney. He can be that slick while moving forward and keeping the likes of Wardley on the back foot. And I think Joseph Parker got more power than Justice Hooney. I'm telling you right now, Wardley is gonna be in a bad way, and it might not be a Hail Mary shot that gets him out of it this time. Might not be. It might not be there for you this time. It might not be there for you this time. It might not be there for you. If you do it, you ain't gonna hear nothing out of me. But it might, if you get yourself in the same spot as Justice Hooney against a better opponent like Parker, it's not gonna be the same thing, brother. It ain't. It can get bad real quick. It can get bad real quick, man, I promise you. But again, NBA, we got to cover it. Come on, let's get it started. Let's get it popping. We got some basketball to cover, like with the world of the NBA, and we had so many things to discuss. First off, in regards to Kevin Durant versus Houston going up against OKC in the first game of the year on NBC. Quick side note, NBC coming back did a phenomenal job making the pop and circumstance of basketball go to its fullest form. All of a sudden, it felt like, shoot, is this what they were experiencing in 1991 to 1998? Brother, this is insane levels of grandeur and legitimate wonder that we got to feel with the NBA. It was phenomenal, and what a way to cap it off when you had the likes of KD going up against, having to watch the team that he left who got a ring without him raise a banner, and then you had to face off against him in the first game in a phenomenal showing. KD had 23 points. Alperen Şengün had 39, at least 35 plus, and what was one of the most, at this point in time, one of the best offensive displays that we've seen in the year, though it was, again, the first game of the year. And my gosh, they went back and forth all night. Thompson was playing great. You saw what this what this height and length of the Rockets can be, even without Fred VanVleet being the PG. But they still look phenomenal. They took the defending champs to double overtime with SGA hitting game-tying shots. Şengün coming in clutch off the post consistently. Back and forth affair, defense abounding. Length and strength going every which way, being able to affect shots and affect play. It was phenomenal. It was insane basketball. Then in the second overtime, Kevin Durant fouls out. Oh my God. Oh shoot. Everybody's shaking him down. Lord. What is saying, then afterwards we see Rockets tie up again. Then SGA hit, I believe it was it Williams or SGA that hit that insanely? No, it was SGA that hit that insane game-winning shot. It ended up being the shot of the game to go through and force the Rockets to essentially had to hit a turnaround J, and they couldn't even get Kevin Durant involved. Couldn't even get Şengün involved. Ended up being Parker. Took a turnaround J and missed. And it was, hey, look, that game I would say would be on par with any game that happens for the rest of the year. There's an argument that's game of the year already in this first game of the season. It's early, I know. But it's going to be hard. You want to talk about a high bar? Double overtime with everything that also surrounded that game, from the story to the actual production, and purely just off the production itself. Oh gosh, what a way to start the year. Afterwards, you had the Warriors face off against the Lakers in a situation where the Warriors, Buddy Hield got himself on fire in that game against Los Angeles, hitting with 4 threes, I think, straight in a row, and was having a stretch where he was like, hey, but Steph, I'm not going to say Steph who, but when it comes to having a second smash bro, he's looking mighty fine. And his Golden State squad, though they faced off against a Lakers squad without LeBron, that offense still looks deadly. Jimmy Butler, back from injury that he had in the playoffs last year, now coming back fully healthy, is looking very good. Very good. The chemistry on this team is phenomenal. Even with the declining of Draymond Green, still he's able to find Stephen Curry like he always is. Steph Curry again still looking like Steph Curry. Though we see some gray on the side of his head, still that production is insane. Mind you, this was off the backs of Luka putting up 40. And an efficient 40. Doing everything he can to carry this Lakers organization. And as good as the Warriors may have looked, the Lakers, they looked out there, they looked pedestrian. Without LeBron there. With LeBron on the court, this team can be something serious. This team can be, now this team got some concerns. But with just Luka and with DeAndre Ayton who was being force-fed as one of the main sticking points for this offense to be run through, man, I tell you what, I can promise you right now, Luka wishes he had Derek Lively right now. Luka wishes he had AD back. Because DeAndre Ayton, for a subtle rant, DeAndre Ayton, as a center, is one of the more skilled centers in the game. He can shoot mid-ranges incredibly effectively. He can stretch the floor up to 20-plus feet. Not 23, but 20-plus. 15-foot floaters, 15-foot mid-range turnarounds. He can do that. But he's also athletically is up in the upper echelon of length and dexterity when it comes to the NBA world. Yet he doesn't use it. And he plays so far out that it's to his detriment. And it showed up in this game. But blocking shots, if he ain't blocking the shot, he ain't affecting the shot. Rebounding, but it's still is much to be desired. The willingness to use his athleticism to the fullest of his extent and be physical is not his game. And now what people were saying about him, even on the Suns, even in Portland, now is being shown here in LA. But it should be an insane lob threat. But it should be able, especially against the Warriors, as an inside presence, should have been able to go through and get to the bucket. Legit, 3 feet in it. Yet he isn't trying to force the issue. Some would say he plays a little bit like Kristaps Porzingis from the standpoint of, if he catches it, he's pulling it. but he's not nearly as good of an offensive player from the standpoint of effective shooter, even from three-point range, as Kristaps. And Kristaps was dealing with, I think, Potts last year. It's bad. The Lakers are mighty concerned. You better hope LeBron comes back from sciatica. You better hope, man. You got Marcus Smart, sure. You got Vanderbilt back healthy. You got some pieces, but boy, it is looking like a struggle. It's going to look like a struggle. Ooh, it's going to look like a struggle. Be prepared. It's going to be bad. And speaking of bad, one of the other biggest games tonight, along with, again, EJ Van Combe, rookie for the 76ers, averaging getting 33 points in the debut, most in history. My gosh, ridiculous and insane. Sixers look like they might have a legitimate third option. Forget third option, maybe a second option over the likes of Paul George and even over the likes of Max Christie as time goes on. But even bigger than that, even bigger with all the other NBA action that happened throughout the day. Even bigger than Giannis's dominant performance against, I believe, the Wizards? I think that he faced, I'm not sure. Beyond all of that, there was one game that stood out more than anything. And my gosh, that was Victor Wembanyama versus Dallas. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh.
We got some problems here.
Victor Wembanyama versus Dallas was one of the scariest things I've ever seen from a one NBA player. And not say that being able to have seen, or at least been alive, for the career of LeBron James. For the career of Shaquille O'Neal when he was in LA. This is not normal. And Al Booker, do you think Wemby is an alien? But forget alien. Forget alien. Forget those types of monikers. This brother right now, I'm calling it right now, he's the third best player in the world. It is game one. Victor Wembanyama is the third best player in the world today. This is with Giannis having an insane performance. But Giannis ain't doing this. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, I believe 2 or 3 assists, 0 turnovers for the entirety of the game, and shot 15 of 21 from the field. Don't forget, this man shot 1 for 2 from 3. A game like this last season, he would have been going insane. 5 for 8 from 3. 6 of 11 from 3. Would have been pulling from out 23 and out. This cat was doing everything 22 feet in it. But he was, if we want to talk about legends of the game, this man was doing everything like George Gervin. When he was putting up 30, 40 points a game, one of the most prolific and smooth scores, one of the greatest scores you've ever seen in NBA history, who was doing everything from nothing but 2 feet, from every range, or from nothing but 2-pointers from every single range. Silky, smooth, and pure. Wemby did have that type of game. And he played like a king. And he was shaking people out of his shoes. Like, do you get what we witnessed? Do you understand the absolute insanity that we were watching yesterday? This should not be possible. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This man is, and I'm not saying this in hyperbole, this man is at this point in time either the second best or the best defensive player in the world already. He established that last season when he led the league in blocks, and he was out with blood clots after the first 40 games of the year. Rudy Gobert didn't get more blocks than Victor Wembanyama, and Rudy Gobert played almost 70 games. No player got more blocks than Victor Wembanyama, and Victor played 40 games last year. Injured, they had to sit out for the rest of the year. Couple that with the fact that now they got De'Aaron Fox. Now and he's injured. Stephon Castle came in for De'Aaron Fox as the point guard role, and this brother's looking like a continued growth from last year. They retooled, regrouped, they gotten better, and all of a sudden you got Wemby playing like the most dangerous version of Victor Wembanyama that we said we hope we would never see. We were just scared this man was going to be able to play like Kevin Durant. Lord knows he's now playing like Hakeem Olajuwon and Kevin Durant. He's got footwork of some of the best in the league. I'm not saying this in hyperbole. I'm not saying this off of hype. I'm not saying this just because I'm so awe-inspired by Wemby. I'm saying legit. He's got some of the best footwork of any big, even on par with Nikola Jokic, on par with Alperen Sengun. He's got the ball handling skills already of Kevin Durant. Understand, he has the agility better than just about any big man in the NBA today, or at least on par with anybody, like Anthony Davis. He's got IQ and touch, both around the rim as an offensive player and a defensive player. Where's the clip? You want to see? I'm not gonna play the sound. I'm not gonna play the sound. I'm gonna just play highlights of what this brother is. I'm gonna just play highlights of what this man was doing, because it was insane. And as I'm talking, because people who didn't get to watch it last night, you don't understand what you missed. If this man is healthy, you just witnessed the birth of potentially, by the time this season ends, the best player in the world. I was saying this before his rookie year. I was saying this after his rookie year. This man's gonna be a top 10 greatest of all time player by the time his career is over. And right now he is realizing that. Well, look, hold on. I'm gonna put this on full screen. I'm a mute it to make sure I don't get nothing happens to me. But I'm a mute it to make sure nothing happens to me. But look, just watch this. Look at this. Off the dribble, 3 bounces, tomahawk dunk, pass, scoop of flag, curve, one of the biggest rising stars of a rookie. Up and under, pump faking, driving to the hoop, dunking and moving with the agility of a guard. This is not normal. This should not be. Beating Dwight Powell down the floor, who is one of the better athletic bigs in the league, at least from a speed perspective. Watch this play. Up and under, rip through, Jason Richardson, shoot, windmill reverse. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Again, look at, I gotta rewind. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. People don't get it. This is going to be the best player in the world. And he's driven, he's dedicated, he's efficient. He's got footwork. You have to bite on everything. He's got the agility. He's got touch and got power. He's doing dunks that you shouldn't see a 7'5" person do, both off the dribble and off the drop step and off the drive. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. People don't understand. People don't understand. I'm telling you. He's making Anthony Davis, mind you, Anthony Davis is one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen in the history of the game. Look at what he's doing to this man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. This brother, coast to coast, coast to coast, off of the inbound, is going through and running by, dribbling by, off a board, on a break. AD's on him. In and out. Sky over. And AD couldn't do a doggone thing about it. Anthony Davis had an argument for Defensive Player of the Year last year. Anthony Davis had and has been one of the greatest defensive players we've ever seen in basketball history. I can say that confidently. And he's doing this stuff to him. Mind you, AD's been able to handle people like Kevin Durant. He's been able to handle people like Alperen Sengun. He's been able to go toe-to-toe with Nikola Jokic and make Jokic work harder than he's ever had to work with anybody else in basketball. Mind you, Jokic still got off, but that's because it's Jokic. But he was there, And he was doing stuff that made Jokic have to adapt. Brother, there's nothing that he did to make Wemby adapt. That wasn't even the best play of the entire sequence of what this cat was doing. This is so. When I say that this should not be possible, I really do mean it. When I say that this is a situation where somebody is breaking the league, this is what I mean. When I say somebody has the capacity to take everything that we know about the game and turn it on its head, this is what I'm talking about. We're not. It's so hard for me to put it into words because we're. You can't. This brother got trained by KG. He got trained by Hakeem Olajuwon. Got trained by Shaolin monks and got better in terms of strength and size. This man literally went to the hyperbolic time chamber and has turned into the biggest threat that we might have seen in the last 25 years in the league. From just an all-around ability standpoint. This is like, let alone, y'all didn't even, you all didn't even get to that. I didn't even show y'all the best play of the night. Or the best play that kind of showed everything that this buddy can be. Let me make sure y'all can see the screen. I didn't even show y'all the best thing that you can see. And again, for those listening, I'm playing clips of what Wemby has been doing. Again, I don't own any footage. Strictly using this as a means to show you all, hey, buddy, this man's different. I'm also trying to make sure that y'all can. Okay, yes, y'all can see the screen. Like, look at this. Hold on. Yeah, NBA ain't getting me. Watch this play. Why is this? Good gosh. Derek Lively blocks Derek Lively's shot at the top of the key, at the top of the rim. Takes the ball up. Twain, in and out crossover. Double behind the back, step back to the 3-point line, cash. That makes no sense. No. Brother gets the block, takes the ball up, crosses Derek Lively, step back, double behind the back, into a and 1-3 fadeaway. That's nothing but net. This we if anybody had the ability to go and change one organization by themselves into the most unstoppable force in the NBA, it's him. It's him. Without De'Aaron Fox, I'm calling it right now, this team was going to be one of the top 5 teams in the NBA. Strictly off of what Victor Wembanyama was able to do. Strictly off of what Victor's going to be able to do. I'm saying that right now. There's the only person I've said this about is LeBron. The only other person I've said this about to be this big of a difference maker is LeBron. This cat is going to be so special. Without De'Aaron Fox, I guarantee you, I think they can be at least top 5, top 6. I'm confident in that because this man, if he's healthy, because this is something serious. With De'Aaron Fox, brother, some of these top 4 seeds better watch out. And don't say OKC got a means to stop it. They don't. They, as a team, yeah, they're better. Individually, there's nobody on OKC that's stopping them. Collectively, there's nobody on OKC that's stopping them. Victor Wembanyama is the only other player outside of Nikola Jokic that I can definitively say, and it's only year 3, there is nobody in the league that can do anything with him. Kevin Durant, LeBron, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama. That's it. Giannis. That's it. And SGA. That's it. We can put Steph in that category as well, even though Steph has kind of been on a little bit of decline. He's still dominant. But again, when he's on, yeah, he's in that tier. But he has been stopped before. This brother, nah. We're past just hype. We're past just this can be something scary. We're past just having a situation where this is a unicorn of a player. I'm telling you today, if he is healthy throughout the season, this is a top 3 player in the world. This is a top 3 player in the world. He might have actually been able to bump Giannis outside of the top 3. And Giannis is one of the most consistent 30.12 rebound, 5 assist players we've had. Quickly turned into one of the greatest power forwards we've ever seen. And this man already might have just passed in skill. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not trying to overhype it. We're nightmare. And mind you, he's doing this it's only game 1, yes. But he did this game against the best from a ability standpoint. From the best defensive big lineup that the NBA has right now. Understand that. He did this type of game against Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, as well as Cooper Flagg, who while he was a rookie, was also seen as one of the best defensive players coming out of college. He did this against a big man rotation that consists of 4 people. 3 of them 7 feet tall. One of them being 7'3" and Derek Lively, and the other one being Daniel Gafford, and the other brother, and Anthony Davis, being, again, the best defensive player in basketball, arguably, who can also give you 26 a game. And the combination of those 3 held Wemby to 40 points on 71% from the field, with 1 3 made, only shooting 2 throughout the entirety of the night. Yeah, we're not. And one of those, and the 1 3 that he made was the double behind the back into a step back 3 that was an and 1. Yeah, nah, we're not doing. We're that. Nah, this league, we better be glad LeBron's getting ready to retire, because brother dealing with this would have been a monster. Anybody dealing with this would have been a monster. I feel bad for this crop of current stars, because your time is up. Anthony Edwards, nope. Jason Tatum, nope. SGA, from a standpoint of individual acclaim compared to what's coming down the line. Get what you can while you can. Get what you can while you can. And you better hope that Wemby follows the trend of other big bands where injuries have been the downfall of their career. Because if this brother is healthy, oh my gosh, for longer than 10 years, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing. That is the next face of the league. It's not SGA. It's not Jason Tatum. It's not Giannis. It's not Zion. It's not Ja. It's not Anthony Edwards. It ain't Joel Embiid. It's Victor Wembanyama. We can put that to bed today. Because if he did this against Anthony Davis, what is anybody? If he did this against AD, what's anybody else gonna be able to do? What's Rudy Gobert gonna be able to do? The world is Joel Embiid, who now seems to be insanely hobbled with no ability to jump anymore. A grounded game with even slower footwork than ever before in his career due to injuries. What's he going to be able to do? Zach Edey, he ain't going to be able to do nothing. Jaren Jackson Jr., you're food. Not just individually. When this team gels like I think it's going to gel, everybody better watch out. Everybody better watch out, because you ain't going to be able to do nothing. You ain't going to be able to do a doggone thing. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. My God, she's going to be absolutely insane. But let me see here. I love it. He stopped shooting threes. It's about to get ugly for the yes. And the thing is, he can still shoot threes. He can still shoot them. But he has now been more committed since working with KG, since working with Hakeem. Yo, I got the tools that I didn't have before to maximize what I am as a big man. Oh, God, she's about to get ugly. And then if you do put too much on the paint, I can become a 36% shooter from three like that. Upwards of a 50% shooter at my best when I'm on one. From the standpoint of in-game, I can shoot 5 for 10. I can shoot 5 for 8. Shoot, I can shoot 6 for 8 on my best day. It's insane. And he's unselfish. And he's able to move the ball. And he's not a liability on the perimeter or on the interior. On both ends of the floor. Yeah, no, he's something serious. Yeah, he's number one defensively. He's insane. Absolutely. The scariest part is that he wants to be the best and works hard. And he is still team-oriented. And he's gotten a post game that is now akin to, or at least has the attributes of some of the best. When LeBron worked with the team and got his post game, his whole moniker of evolution evolved. And that's where that jump from Cleveland to Miami really became horrifying, because he had no weaknesses after that. Barely had any before then. Definitely didn't have any afterwards. And this is year 3 that he got this training in terms of a king. Not year 11, like with LeBron. Oh, gosh. And Dwight Howard, similar thing. Trained with the king. Not saying he was a great technical post player, but he got a baby hook that became one of the most go-to avenues and was able to further position himself to be a better inside dunker. And his elevation went up. Kobe, once he trained with the king, all of a sudden you saw what he was able to do as an offensive juggernaut. Evolved. When he's doing that same thing, it's going to be insane. He's already challenging his teammates to step up. Yes, he is, absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing. Also, Matt Borgeson, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. You say wrong? Oh, my. Well, if you think I'm wrong about that, you better hope. You better hope I'm wrong. You better hope I'm wrong, because if I'm not wrong about this, oh, Lord. Y'all, people going to be scared. People going to be absolutely horrified. But again, it's going to be an insane season. I'm excited for it. We still got more games coming down the line. And it's, hey, already this season feels different. Not just with production, not just with the players, but just as a whole, this feels like this could be a season to remember already in this first year. My gosh, I can't wait to see as it all unfolds. But again, we still got more to cover for the last half of the show. Now we're in the championship rounds. Hey, we can see what y'all got to say. Let's hear your thoughts and opinions as we're now in the championship round. You all drive the conversation. You all drive the intrigue. You all go through and drive the discourse on this show. For we can do we can do what? 10 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes, however long we normally do it. I can't remember the time. However long we go, as long as you all pose your questions. If you don't pose questions, then hey, we ended early. We don't stick around to try to make it so that we force the issue. We want to give you opportunities to make the floor open, to have your thoughts and opinions be seen and heard for the whole of this show, or at least for the last half of the show, to have any questions, comments, debates, concerns, or absolute opinions on the NBA, on the NFL, on boxing, on video games, movies, television, sports, TV, all that stuff. Whatever you want to talk about, or you just want to have a conversation, hey, we can have it right here, and let yourself be seen and heard for the world to witness and enjoy, and add your discourse to the greater landscape of the sports conversation. So without further ado, let's jump into it right now. Hey, it's time to jump into championship rounds. It's time to work, it's time to shine. It's time to make this show sublime, all with you and your voice, as we got some time on today, while we're still delving into waiting for your questions to come through. And again, if you ain't got nothing to say, no issue. No problem whatsoever. We do have some things that we can discuss as to T. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Somebody asked me about delving into, since we're here in the championship rounds, hey, what is it? Chauncey Billups Terry Rozier as well in the NBA. Brother, this news has been sweeping the nation where everybody getting arrested all of a sudden. Everybody's in hot water now. Oh, Lord. Oh, my. The league looks like it's in trouble because we got people gambling left, right, and center. Apparently, the FBI has been investigating a whole issue for a number of years, going into and tracking all this stuff with illegal gambling happening amongst NBA coaches, staff, and players surrounding the league. Mind you, they got Jonte Porter, brother of Michael Porter Jr., which again, he was insane for some of the stuff he said in lieu of that whole situation. But even still, regardless of which, in regards to his brother. But he got caught first. And it started a domino effect. First, Terry Rozier was implicated. And all of a sudden, everything went quiet. Now the brother been arrested. Johnson Billups got arrested as the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Mind you, they just played yesterday. And they lost. I believe they lost. They got carted out directly after. And don't forget, we also brought up Damon Jones got caught up as well in all this stuff. Shoot, even before that, we had Gilbert Arenas almost going to jail as well. We got a litany of stuff going around. And mind you, in part, this could be because of the whole situation where gambling and sports have become more intertwined than ever before. ESPN sports betting, FanDuel, all this stuff getting involved with it being more accessible. Players trying to get in. Players playing to get the under or over. Participating and potentially going through and letting scores go down or up or sabotaging their own play in order to make it so they can get and hit on their parlay. Making some extra cash on the side while also being under contract for multi-millions of dollars. Oh, it is a deep-seated catastrophe and an absolute mind-boggling development that with these legitimate arrests coming into play, oh gosh, this could potentially open up a world of trouble for the rest of the league. Other teams could be involved. We don't know. Other people could be indicted all of a sudden left, right, and so we could see people carted off mid-game. Who knows? As this whole investigation continues to go through and starts to come to light even more, it's insane. It's not just concerning, but it's a problem that, if I'm being real, it's been happening for a long time in the league as a whole, but it was also harder to do for players. Now with more easy access to betting, this has become a more widespread and available option for players to continue to make some dough. Though they're getting paid what they're getting paid. And hammer's about to come down. And boy, Adam Silver is going to have this brother now having the FBI involved in his league, saying, "Hey, you some of the bigger notable names of your brand are now getting put behind bars." It's like, oh shoot, oh my gosh, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait a second. Not to go and just stop the show real quick, but we are in the championship rounds. It can ebb and flow and shift real quick from the sense of it can ebb and flow and shift incredibly quickly as we're talking through. And right here, we just got some updates on the world of Jake Paul in regards to what he's doing for this fight with Tank Davis, and I think this is going to be something that you actually do want to hear. I really do.
Prepare for a guy that's different? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So
Wow.
just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to like lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
Oh, Lord.
We got some problems here.
I didn't see. I'm not gonna lie. As I was talking, it just came across my feed. Like I said, we'll probably talk about this tomorrow in the championship round. When the whole show is dedicated to championship rounds. In fact, let me go on and save this clip because we're probably gonna bring this up tomorrow as well. Because I did not know. I knew about Raymond Ford. I think I heard about the other brother. I did not know he had Shakur Stevenson scheduled to come in to help him out and train. That, I'm not saying he's going to help a whole bunch at all. But I am going to say that might add at least a slight new wrinkle into what we can see Jake Paul be like coming into this fight and potentially cause a level of, I don't want to say unease, because again, it's still Tank versus Jake Paul, and I don't think anybody that Jake Paul trains with, regardless of their ability, he's not going to be able to sponge up the necessary need of intellect to be able to implement what they try to teach. But if that's true, woo, even beyond just the fight of Tank versus Jake, hey brother, we didn't think that Shakur was going to help Jake Paul in any way, shape, or form when it came to this boxing game. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I did not expect that. I'm not going to lie, off the back, so some people were giving flack to Raymond Ford for working and training with Jake Paul to help get some stuff done. Expect to see a lot of boxers be like, hey, or a lot of fans be like, hey, brother, Shakur, we may not like what's going on between you and Tank, but you ain't supposed to be helping the enemy in this regard, in this situation. It could be a similar situation to where we see Boots training Canelo, the whole code situation. Don't be surprised if that pops up again, especially when it comes to this type of fighter in Jake Paul to get so much to stake. My goodness. Is this actually gonna help this brother? I'm not gonna lie, that's interesting. That adds potentially a new layer to what this fight could potentially be. Sparring with him and getting Shakur to potentially show him some ways to actually beat this brother and give him tips on what he sees as to what can beat Tank. That's gonna be interesting. He's going to be able to implement it? Probably not. But still, the fact he's getting that, all right. Okay. All right. We're going to see how this unfolds. Absolutely. But again, just a quick thing, because I just happened to see it, and I had to play it for you all to give you all the update. Because it shocked me as much as it might have shocked you hearing that whole conversation. But regardless of which, last thing on the NBA thing, guys, before we get on out of here. NBA could be in for a rude awakening in terms of what this league's going to be like as a whole. From what I can gather, Adam Silver didn't expect any of this to come down, didn't know about any of this. And all of a sudden now, he's got to deal with the brunt of, hey, you got a bunch of people caught red-handed in a league that's supposed to be secure. Ooh, how you going to deal with this? Expect to see a statement from him in the next couple weeks to a month. And expect to see couple changes being done in a week, 2 months. And also, kind of insane that we're seeing this much rapid stuff done in NBA, crashing down on stuff like this, but in the other end of the spectrum, yeah, there's some fouls that's supposed to be coming out. It's taking a mighty long time for everybody to actually get some investigation done on that, but that's a whole other conversation. Hey, just saying. Whole nother conversation nonetheless. But as we got to say, if anybody else has anything else they want to say and on the matter, so I think that's just about everything we can cover. The floor is yours. But if not, I think we're going to get out of here and end this show on a relatively good note. Because, hey, this has been a phenomenal show. It's been a phenomenal time. So if nobody else has anything else that they need to say on the matter, we're going to get out of here and go home. So with all that being said, Well, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. Hopefully you enjoyed your time on your work, on your job, wherever you were. We had a phenomenal time, phenomenal conversation surrounding Canelo, surrounding Tank, surrounding Jake Paul, surrounding Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. We covered a whole bunch of stuff, the NBA as well, with opening games coming about. We still got more games coming about today. We also got NFL football coming on Thursday night. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a jam-packed show coming tomorrow as well. Be here for that. Also be sure to leave a like on the video before you get on out of here. Comment your thoughts and opinions on whatever you wanted or what you like and didn't like about the show. Be sure to share the show with everybody you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. Subscribe to the channel. Come join the empire. And if you want to support the show while we're getting monetization set up properly, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description. If you'd like to support, would mean the world to me. But again, tomorrow, Friday, it's going to be championship rounds for the entirety of the show, where you drive the conversation absolutely for the pound for pound commenters of the day, because we got to make sure that we do that all the time. Number 3, pound for pound, is Timmy T. Good for you. Brady, you got on the leaderboard. Number 2 is Mr. Miyagi as the second pound for pound commenter on today in the pound for pound. Number 1 chatter for today's episode is Al Booga. Yes, right. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hashtag congratulations. Yes, indeed. To Al Booga for being the number 1 commenter and pound for pound number 1 for today's show. I think you had it last week as well, or you were up there in the top 3. You've been consistently up there. Hey, we love to see it. Can you keep this pound for pound status as the number 1 commenter in the world? Come tomorrow. We're going to wait and see for that, absolutely. But with all that being said, we appreciate all you tuning in. We appreciate all you supporting. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. You all have been absolutely wonderful. Peace and love. Peace and love. We are out here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Friday. Same time, same place, same avenue. Latest 5 stars on your podcasting platform. And there's nothing else to say except for peace and love. We out.